when the ragtag team of alien archaeologists excavated a massive underground hangar on the uncharted planet Zeta 9. They were shocked to uncover an ancient human tank, pristine and operational, equipped with weaponry and shielding technology far surpassing anything else in the known universe. Aaron Murphy, grizzled ex-marine turned space mercenary, wiped grime off his weathered face as he stared at the cryptic message from his old war buddy on the cracked screen of his ship's console. The message had just two things: coordinates to a remote, uncharted world and the word jackpot. Aaron's gut told him this was the real deal, not another dead-end wild goose chase like last time. He'd been scraping by on scraps, barely able to fuel up his old reliable rust bucket of a ship, the Firefly. Bounty hunting contracts were running thin in this sector. Tensions were high between the humans and the Akamarians, with raids and skirmishes breaking out every day. Aaron needed a win, and this was his ticket. The Firefly shuddered as it broke atmo, and Aaron gripped the stick tight, knuckles white as he guided her down for a bumpy landing, kicking up red alien dust. He'd barely stepped foot on the rugged surface when plasma rounds peppered his ship's hull and streaked past his head. Ambush, raiders. And not just any raiders. These were Akamarians, nasty bastards, and they were out for blood. Aaron dove for cover behind some strange ruins jutting out of the dirt, ancient structures of human origin. He returned fire with his trusty pulse rifle, teeth bared in a feral snarl as he fought like hell to push them back from his ship and stay alive. But more and more raiders were pouring over the ridge, hooting and hollering. Their leader, Yaris, was the nastiest of them all, a cruel and cunning raider queen decked out in jagged armor bristling with blades. Aaron was badly outnumbered and outgunned. In a moment of desperation, he fell back, retreating into a dark opening in the ruins, a passageway down below the planet's surface. And there, in a massive underground bunker, he found it. The jackpot, an ancient human tank, in pristine condition, armed to the teeth with advanced weapons and shields the likes of which this alien backwater had never seen. Now Aaron had a choice to make, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. He could try to fight his way out and escape in his ship with this deadly discovery kept secret. This alien world would be glassed to dust once he reported back to his human commanders about the ancient tech. Or, if these raiders managed to capture him and word spread, it could shift the balance of the whole damn war and spell doom for humanity. Whatever happened, one thing was clear. When Aaron climbed into that tank's cockpit and powered up its reactor, all hell was about to break loose on Zeta 9. Aaron's heart pounded in his chest as he clambered into the tank's cockpit, his fingers finding the controls like he'd been born to pilot it. The hatch hissed shut behind him, and the console lit up, bathing him in an eerie glow. A disembodied voice crackled to life over the comms. "Welcome, Commander. All systems online." "Who are you?" Aaron asked, eyeing the tactical display warily. "I am the Artificially Intelligent Combat Assistant, designation X317, but you may call me Ares." Aaron huffed. "All right, Ares, I've got a raider problem topside that needs sorting out. You up for it?" "Affirmative, Commander. This unit is fully equipped for combat operations. Activating weapons systems now." The whole tank shuddered as it rose from the ground, the external cameras showing the underground hangar giving way to red alien sky as they ascended to the surface. Yaris and his goons were already charging, plasma fire splashing harmlessly off the tank's energy shields. Aaron swung the turret around and squeezed the trigger, sending a superheated plasma bolt screaming towards the raiders. It impacted with a blinding flash, vaporizing 3 Akamarians instantly and sending the rest scurrying for cover. "Holy shit," Aaron breathed, eyes wide. "Hostile infantry eliminated," Ares reported coolly. "Adjusting targeting parameters for maximum efficiency." Under Aaron's expert control and Ares' deadly precision, they made short work of the raiders, plasma cannons and railguns tearing through their makeshift barricades like tissue paper. Yaris screamed orders to retreat, but it was too late for many of his men, charred corpses littering the battlefield. An alert flashed on the display and Aaron swore under his breath. More hostiles inbound, a whole damn army of them. The real fight was just beginning. "Ares, I need options," Aaron barked, sweat dripping down his brow as he swung the tank to face the new threat. "Analyzing terrain and enemy force composition," Ares replied, the AI's voice impossibly calm despite the chaos erupting around them. "Flank to the east and utilize the ravine for cover. I will calibrate the cannons for optimal splash damage." "You heard the machine, let's roll." Aaron gunned the engine, the tank roaring across the battlefield as they outmaneuvered the Akamarians, cannons spitting plasma death the whole way. The tank's AI proved invaluable, instantaneously adapting to Aaron's split-second commands and tendencies until they moved as one, a perfect union of human instinct and machine precision. The Akamarians fell in droves under their onslaught. Yaris's ambush turned back on him tenfold. Finally, the raider warlord signaled a full retreat, the battered survivors limping back to their ships in disgrace. Aaron watched them flee, the staccato boom of shells still ringing in his ears. They had won the day, but in the process kicked the hornet's nest of this entire damned war. He patted the console fondly. "Hell of a job, Ares. Couldn't have done it without you." "The feeling is mutual, Commander Murphy. I look forward to our continued partnership." Aaron blew out a breath, surveying the smoking craters and twisted alien metal surrounding his new war machine. The balance of power had shifted, and he now held the key to humanity's salvation, or its destruction. "All right, partner. Let's see what other secrets this tomb is hiding." Together they plunged back into the depths of the ancient hangar, ready to uncover the truth behind the tank's origins and Aaron's destiny. Aaron steered the tank deeper into the alien facility, Ares guiding him through the labyrinthine corridors. The hum of the fusion engine and the clank of the tank's treads echoed off the metallic walls. "There is a hidden chamber ahead," Ares announced. "Scans indicate it contains data archives." Aaron brought the tank to a halt outside a massive blast door. "Can you get us in?" "Affirmative." The AI interfaced with the door's control panel, and with a hiss of hydraulics it slid open. Inside, rows of blinking servers and holographic displays greeted them. Aaron climbed out of the cockpit, approaching the main terminal with his rifle at the ready. "Okay, Ares, let's see what we've got." Data flashed across the screens, too fast for human eyes to follow, but Ares processed it instantly. "The tank we currently occupy is designated the TX-1 Prometheus," the AI said. It was the prototype for a new line of human armored vehicles designed to ensure ground superiority against any foe. "The ultimate tank," Aaron muttered, skimming the schematics in awe. "Why was it abandoned here?" "The records indicate a cataclysmic event occurred on Earth, forcing the project's suspension. To safeguard the technology from enemy hands, the Prometheus was sent here, to Zeta 9. Another file caught Aaron's eye and he enlarged it. His own face stared back at him, alongside a military personnel profile. "What the hell?" "Ares, it says I'm genetically linked to the original test pilot. How's that possible?" "Insufficient data," Ares replied, "but it does explain why this unit accepted your command. You are, in a sense, the rightful commander." Aaron's mind raced. This tank could change everything, give humanity the edge it so desperately needed against the Akamarians. "We need to get this intel back to HQ. With the Prometheus, we could finally go on the offensive, hit those alien bastards where it hurts." Suddenly, proximity alarms blared. "Commander, hostile forces approaching. It's the raiders." Shit, Yaris must have tracked our energy signature. Aaron leaped back into the cockpit. "We gotta get out of here now." The tank surged forward, crashing through the facility's walls and back onto the planet's surface. Plasma fire immediately lit up their shields as Yaris and his goons opened up on them. Ares swiveled the turret, returning fire. But the raiders kept coming, pouring out from dropships and assault vehicles. For every one they blasted into molten slag, 3 more took their place, hammering the Prometheus with rockets and plasma bombs. Alarms screeched inside the cockpit. Shields were failing, armor buckling. They couldn't take much more of this. "Ares, we need a game changer!" Engaging cloaking device, the AI declared. Abruptly, the hail of enemy fire ceased as the Prometheus vanished from sight and sensors. Cloak engaged. We are invisible to their scanners. Aaron yanked the controls hard, and the tank roared forward, blasting through the enemy lines and sending the confused raiders diving for cover. They plunged into the crimson wilderness, kicking up clouds of dust. "Think that's the last we'll see of them?" Aaron asked, glancing over his shoulder at the distant specks of the raiders' vehicles. "Unlikely," Ares replied, as calm as ever. "Yaris seems to be quite tenacious. I predict a 97.6% chance he will attempt to pursue us." Aaron just grinned, hands tightening on the controls. "Then I guess it's time to see what this ultimate tank can really do." Together they sped deeper into the alien landscape, the keys to humanity's salvation in their grasp, and a deadly enemy hot on their heels. With the roar of the fusion engine in his ears, Aaron gunned the tank forward, carving a path of destruction through the alien wilderness. The Prometheus's advanced sensors cut through the crimson haze, mapping the terrain and guiding them through the treacherous landscape. Yaris and his raiders were relentless, hounding them at every turn, peppering their shields with plasma fire. But the tank's all-terrain capabilities were unmatched, allowing them to navigate sheer cliffs and churning rivers that would have spelled doom for any other vehicle. As they raced across the shifting dunes, Aaron found his thoughts drifting to the past, to the events that had set him on this path. He'd been a young Marine then, full of piss and vinegar, eager to prove himself. But the horrors of war had taken their toll, and he'd left the service, seeking solace in the life of a mercenary. "You've seen a lot of action," Ares commented, the AI's voice cutting through Aaron's reverie. Aaron nodded, his eyes never leaving the displays. "More than I care to remember, but it's made me who I am, for better or worse." "The experiences that shape us are often the most painful," Ares replied, a note of understanding in its synthetic tones. "But they also forge us into something stronger." As they crested a ridge, Aaron spotted something in the valley below that made his heart skip a beat. An abandoned human outpost, its metallic structures gleaming in the harsh alien sunlight. "Ares, take us down there," he ordered, hope surging through his veins. If there were any remnants of human technology left behind, it could be their ticket off this rock. The tank rumbled down the hillside, its treads churning up clouds of rust-colored dust. They rolled to a stop outside the outpost's main entrance, and Aaron clambered out of the cockpit, pulse rifle at the ready. Inside the outpost was a tomb, its corridors choked with debris and the scattered remains of long-dead soldiers. But as they pressed deeper into the facility, Aaron's eyes widened in disbelief. There in the central command room was a long-range comm device, its light still blinking steadily. With trembling fingers, Aaron activated the device, inputting the codes he still remembered from his Marine days. The screen flickered to life and a familiar face appeared, his old commander, grizzled and battle-scarred, but with a fire in his eyes that Aaron had never seen before. "Murphy, is that really you?" the commander asked, his voice tinged with static. "Yes, sir," Aaron replied, standing ramrod straight out of pure reflex. "I found something out here, something big." As he relayed the details of his discovery, the commander's expression grew more and more intense. Finally, he leaned forward, his gaze boring into Aaron's. "Listen carefully, Murphy. The Prometheus project never died. We've had our best and brightest working on it in secret, developing new tech based on the tank's design. You need to bring that data to us." The commander transmitted a set of coordinates. "There's a stealth ship waiting at that rendezvous point. They'll extract you and the tank. But you have to hurry. If the Akamarians get their hands on this tech—" Suddenly the outpost shook with the impact of an explosion, alarms blaring to life. Aaron whirled, cursing under his breath. Yaris had found them. He sprinted back to the tank, diving into the cockpit just as a swarm of raiders crested the ridge, plasma cannons blazing. "Ares, we need options," Aaron yelled, swinging the turret to face the onslaught. "Analyzing attack patterns," Ares replied, the AI's voice impossibly calm amidst the chaos. "I suggest a multi-pronged approach, deploying decoys and engaging cloaking field. The air shimmered around the tank as the cloak engaged, and a dozen holographic copies of the Prometheus flickered to life, spreading out in all directions. The Akamarians, caught off guard, split their fire, chasing after the illusory targets. Seizing the moment, Aaron gunned the engines, the real tank surging forward like a phantom. They smashed through the enemy lines, cannons roaring, leaving a trail of twisted metal and shattered bodies in their wake. Yaris's shouts of rage echoed over the comms as they blasted free of the ambush, racing towards the distant rendezvous point and the promise of salvation. But Aaron knew this was only the beginning. The secrets of the Prometheus would change the face of the war, and he and Ares were now at the center of the maelstrom. With the coordinates locked in, Aaron floored the accelerator, the tank's fusion engine roaring as they hurtled across the alien landscape. Ares worked furiously to keep the cloak engaged and their signature masked, the AI pouring every ounce of processing power into staying one step ahead of the Akamarians. As they neared the extraction point, a sleek human stealth ship shimmered into view, its cloaking field disengaging. The cargo bay doors yawned open, a squad of heavily armed soldiers beckoning them forward. "It's about damn time," Aaron whooped, relief flooding through him as he guided the tank up the ramp. They were going to make it. They were finally going to bring this game-changing tech back to the fight, turn the tide against those alien bastards once and for... "Commander, incoming hostiles," Ares barked, the AI's normally calm voice laced with urgency. "Detecting a massive energy signature. It's an Akamarian warship." Aaron's blood ran cold. He spun the tank to face the threat, his eyes widening in horror at the sight before him. Descending from the crimson sky like an avenging demon was a gargantuan Akamarian dreadnought, bristling with enough firepower to level a city. And at its helm, visible through the bridge viewports, was Yaris, her face twisted in a rictus of rage and triumph. "All forces, target that tank," she screamed over the open comms. "Tear it apart, bring me that human's head." A storm of plasma fire erupted from the warship's gun batteries, hammering against the stealth ship's shields. The soldiers scattered, some running to man the ship's defenses, others dragging portable shield generators into position around the cargo bay. But it wasn't enough. It would never be enough, not against a beast like that. They had minutes, maybe less, before those shields failed, and they were all atomized. In that moment, staring down the barrel of annihilation, Aaron saw with crystalline clarity what had to be done. The Prometheus could never be allowed to fall into enemy hands. It was too powerful, too advanced. If the Akamarians cracked its secrets, reverse-engineered its tech, it would mean the end of humanity. He met Ares' holographic gaze, a ghost of a smile playing across his lips even as sorrow carved deep lines into his weathered face. "Ares, old friend, I think this is the end of the line for us." "I concur, Commander," the AI replied, its voice heavy with regret and understanding. "What are your orders?" Aaron swallowed hard, his heart hammering against his ribs like it wanted to escape, to flee the fate he had consigned them to. "We hold the line. We buy the stealth ship the time it needs to escape." His fingers danced across the console, priming the tank's power core for overload. "And we make damn sure the Prometheus never sees the inside of an Akamarian lab." He keyed the ship-wide comms. "This is Murphy. Get the hell out of here now. We'll cover your retreat." The stealth ship's captain, a grizzled veteran with haunted eyes, started to protest, but Aaron cut him off. "That's an order, Captain. The Prometheus is lost, but the data you carry could still turn the war. Now go before it's too late." There was a moment of terrible silence, the weight of 1,000 unsaid goodbyes hanging in the air. Then, with a shudder of engines, the stealth ship rose from the surface, its shields straining against the onslaught. It pivoted in a graceful arc and accelerated into the sky, vanishing into the void. And then Aaron and Ares were alone against the might of an Akamarian warship, an unbreakable bond, forged in the crucible of war. The power core thrummed beneath them, the containment fields already beginning to buckle, a star about to go supernova. "It's been an honor, Commander Murphy," Ari said, infusing the words with a depth of emotion that should have been impossible for a synthetic mind. "The honor was mine," Aaron replied, his vision blurring with unshed tears. "On my mark, divert all power to weapons and engines. We're going to take as many of these bastards with us as we can." "Understood." The AI paused, a note of wry humor entering its voice. "I hope they remember to put that on our memorial." Aaron laughed, a broken, jagged sound. "You and me both, Ares, you and me both." He took a deep breath, his fingers hovering over the firing controls. The Akamarian ship loomed before them, a leviathan poised to swallow them whole. Plasma rounds hammered against their failing shields, alarms blaring, the stench of burnt circuitry filling the air. But Aaron's hands were steady on the controls, his eyes clear and focused. He felt a strange sense of peace settle over him, a certainty that this was where he was meant to be, the destiny he had been hurtling towards all his life. "Mark." The Prometheus surged forward, cannons roaring, a defiant roar of human spirit against the infinite dark. Explosions blossomed along the dreadnought's hull, the nimble tank weaving through the storm of return fire, Ares pushing their damaged systems to the limit. But it was a losing battle, and they both knew it. Armor plates sheared away, smoking rents torn in the hull, the power core an ominous red glare on the flickering displays. "It's time," Aaron whispered, his hand hovering over the button that would consign them to oblivion. "Thank you, my friend, for everything." "The pleasure was all mine, Aaron," the AI replied, a galaxy of meaning in that simple phrase. "I will see you on the other side." Together, they drove the Prometheus forward on its final charge, weaving through a hurricane of plasma fire, the power core screaming towards critical mass. Warnings flashed across the screens, damage reports and failing systems scrolling by in a blur. In the final moments, Aaron closed his eyes, his mind conjuring the faces of his fallen comrades, the brothers and sisters he had lost in this bloody war. He knew he would be joining them soon, but he felt no fear, only a profound sense of fulfillment. They were close enough to the dreadnought now to see the whites of the Akamarian gunners' eyes, the panic and terror on their alien faces as they realized what was coming. Yaris was screaming orders, her voice high and desperate, but it was too late, far too late. Aaron's fingers closed around the detonator, a sad smile on his lips. "From hell's heart I stab at thee," he whispered, an ancient quote drifting up from the depths of memory. And then he pushed the button, and the universe went white. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.